hoop at GCU, man. We hoop at GCU.
Lopes fans, welcome in. My name is Brendan Williams, and this is Go Lopes Radio. And today I'm excited to share with you our final episode of the Behind the Program podcast series. And we talk with the leader of the whole dang thing, GCU Athletic Director Jamie Boggs. 20 programs, facilities, logistics, conference realignment, all of it. It rolls up to her, and she gives us a sneak peek behind the curtain on how she juggles it all and why she thinks the Lopes are set up to succeed in this modern college athletics environment. It's been a busy summer for Jamie, a lot on her plate, as you guys know, so we really appreciate her taking some time out of her day and really just being so candid. So really appreciate that. But I won't waste any more of your time, guys. Let's go over to our interview with GCU Athletic Director Jamie Boggs. Guys, welcome in. I'm joined today by our fearless leader, Jamie Boggs, Vice President of Athletics here at GCU. Jamie, thanks for taking some time out today.
Yeah, really happy to meet with you and reconnect again.
Yeah, it's awesome. Almost welcome week here on campus, which means that your first official Mountain West sporting event is coming up here in a little over a month. Can you talk about, first, I think the excitement this summer joining the conference, and then I know it's exciting to finally play some games. So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, very excited for the Mountain West. You know, we're of course planning on going in 2026, and for this opportunity to come in earlier has been just a big blessing. But you know, just the level of competition. It's an elite conference. It's a much higher level than we've had in the past. Although we were so thankful for our time in the WAC, but we're excited about the enhanced level of competition. The national brands that we'll be facing.
Yeah.
Everyone knows, you know, Air Force and New Mexico and UNLV, all these schools, all of them, and also just their passionate fan base. That's what I'm really excited about, because
it's already picked up online.
It has, and we have a passionate fan base, and all these schools have a passionate fan base as well. So I'm really excited to get those two together, and I'm really excited for the exposure to just tell the story of GCU, but also to tell the story of our Havocs. I mean, you know, it's just bringing all those fan bases together. It's going to be just an incredible game day environment and fun for the whole community.
Yeah, and I think it's big for multiple levels. People get to come see the campus. I think there's a lot of talk about, okay, Grand Canyon University, we've heard about this campus. So I think some of those student athletes get to come, fans get to come. I think you get to engage the city of Phoenix even more. And I think, I don't know, talk about that a little bit as well, just the excitement that comes, all the other stuff. I know obviously it's exciting. We're just talking about some of the teams you get to play, but people getting to come to campus, the bigger exposure for GCU as well.
Yeah, we have such an incredible university here, and it's not a secret anymore. I mean, we're a national university. We're one of the largest private Division I universities in the country, one of the largest Christian universities in the country, and we're all proud of this university and what we are. As far as being so student-centered and so invested in the community. So for the exposure and for other programs that maybe have not been here as much, other fan bases that have not been here as much, for them to see what we have and our unbelievably welcoming community, it's just an exciting thing for us. And you know, again, I think, you know, we're people that are associated with GCU who know us. We're proud of who we are as a university.
Yeah. You know, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the operations, some of the stuff you do. We're going to kind of look behind the curtain a little bit at all the work you guys have done. Before we get there, I want to talk a little bit about your bio. My big question for you is, law in this country is something that people work years for. And if anyone has known anyone, they want to just get to the end of school and there's almost this new life ahead of them. So for you, you go through law school, you have the ability to practice law. Obviously, it's very advantageous for what you do, but I think for a lot of people, that would be kind of that end-all, be-all. So why choose to come and kind of create a career in college athletics, opposed to this thing everyone talks about they want to just achieve? And you did that, but instead you chose to do college athletics. Why?
Yeah, you know, I actually, when I first started law school, it probably took me a month to figure out that I wasn't going to practice law. You know, I didn't love it. When you grow up in Phoenix, I grew up in Phoenix, especially in the 80s and 90s, everyone was a sports fan.
Yeah.
I mean, particularly a Phoenix Suns fan. I mean, you were like a diehard Phoenix Suns fan if you grew up here. And so that was the case with my family too. So it was one thing I knew I always wanted to, that I've always loved, is sports. So by the time I got to law school, thinking that I was going to practice law, because I had my parents had very high expectations. They're like, you know, you can go to law school, you can go to med school, you can become an engineer. I'm like, I don't know if I can do all those. I'll pick law school. But it's interesting though, because I'm so glad I did that because I didn't realize how much it would, the transferable skill set would transfer to what I do now. I don't even know how you are an athletic director now without having some kind of legal background, honestly. Like I spent the last few months talking to agents. Like we're on the conflict with agents and dealing with federal legislation and state laws and contracts. So it's been very beneficial. But I just don't know how I'm just so thankful that happened because I'm not sure how people are doing without a background in law, just the way our industry and our landscape is right now.
Yeah, we're recording this in these the athletic offices. We got the soccer field, the campus. It's a little bit of a different environment than maybe like a law office, you would say, right? There's probably a little more. Yeah. I don't know if joy would be the word, but it's a little different. I'm sure you enjoy that a lot more. Right?
I enjoy the energy and coming to campus and seeing the scooters and skateboarders and all the great things that come with being on an amazing, vibrant campus.
Yeah. Okay, let's kind of dive into, we're doing this Behind the Program series. We've talked with Coach Mark, Coach Jack, and Brady Howe. We have an episode coming up, Director of Sports Medicine, and they've told us so much about their craft. And I think my first question I want to ask you is, for GCU Athletics to continue to excel at a high level, Jamie Boggs has to be working, thinking, planning how many years into the future?
You really have to be thinking always around the corner for what we do. I mean, I'm thinking 3 years ahead. Now you have to think about how TV contracts are structured for your conference, and you got to make sure that you're best positioned in your conference at all times. So, you can't. You always have to be thinking ahead. Even when we were, going through the House settlement, is that going to be approved? Is it going to pass? Is it not? We had so much uncertainty for like a year plus, but we were planning ahead, plan A, B, and C. If it passes, here's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, and so by the time it actually passed, over a year later, we were ready. But that's how far ahead you constantly have to think. And again, as far as the way it is with TV contracts, you really have to think in terms of the terms of those contracts with conferences and making sure you're always well positioned. For us, we're so excited to be in the Mountain West. It's a great conference. It's an elite conference, and we think this conference is going to continue to grow. And we want to make sure that we're always at the top of the conference. So how do we set ourselves up there?
Yeah, and is that challenging for you? Because at the end of the day, let's say GCU's having a game, the inflatable lope has to be inflated, and at the end of the day, that kind of rolls up to you indirectly, right? Mm-hmm. And then you've got to be like, what's going on for a potential TV contract, let's say in year 2029. Let's just say, I don't even know, what the current situation is. Is that hard to balance those two things where you have so many to-dos in one day and I've got to be thinking forward? Like, how do you balance that? And what does a day look like?
Yeah, it's a lot. It's funny. I get the question a lot. Or I get people telling me a lot who want to be athletic directors. They say, I love sports. I love watching sports. That's what I want to be an athletic director. And I'm like, I'm at the games, but I'm not just paying attention to what's on the field. There's so many things that happen even just during a game. I'm also looking at the game day environment. How does our, when you walk in, how is the ingress, egress, how does the parking look, and from how's the music sound? I mean, it's everything. And then who's in the audience and who are we inviting? Every single detail I'm paying attention to, and the reason I can do that is because I have an amazing team. You have to surround yourself with the best people, and fortunately at GCU, we've been able to attract the best people. A lot of them graduates from GCU, so they know us, but I'm constantly have to think ahead, and I think as athletic directors, You'll hear ADs say this a lot, but we don't really have enough time to think because there is so much going on. But we have to rely heavily on our teams, and I fortunately have really good people. Nick Ohea is our deputy, and he really handles a lot of the internal, the compliance, academics, facilities and operations, and sports medicine. And then on the external side, we have a fantastic team and so much support from the university. So we're thinking things like ticket sales and the in-game experience and just all the things that you probably, when you're walking into a game, you probably just don't even think about. Concessions, the lines, all those kinds of things. Those are just things that we're constantly working on to make sure that our fans and people come and have the best possible game day experience. Yeah.
Let's go and talk about some of those people because, how many athletic programs do you have? Do you know off the top of your head?
We have 20.
Okay, so you've got 20 programs. Mm-hmm. We know you guys don't you're not going to allow a few programs to kind of fall by the wayside. We know you guys set expectations. With expectations, obviously, comes a lot. So how do you kind of delegate that out? And I'm asking this question to say, maybe talk about some of those names. You mentioned Nick, but some other names behind the scenes that really do a lot that maybe a Lope fan might not know about, that allows all these programs to succeed.
Yeah, there's so many areas. And then there's an operational side and there's a team management side. So just from operationally, we have our head of academics, Anthony Martinez. He oversees academics compliance, and that's a lot. I mean, making sure your student athletes are eligible.
Yep.
That's not. It's a lot. And then the facilities and operations. Will King oversees that area, but he's out here. He's out here hours. He and his team are out at the games hours and hours before everyone
Getting
else.
Everything set up. Yeah.
Yes, before getting everything set up, making sure security is in the right place, communicating with guest services. We have our ticket team with the arena in the arena, James Hall, who you know.
Yep.
I mean, just the preparation for that, it's a lot of work. Our fundraisers, knowing who they're going to meet at the games and preparing for that. But even like post game. Our equipment room, they're amazing. I mean, during the spring season, when we have baseball games and softball games, you got 3 games in a row, go late into the night, they're here sometimes till like 1 a.m. doing laundry. Yeah. It's incredible. And you know who else is here after the game? Our sports information team, our videographers. Some of our videographers will churn out videos. They'll work through the night to make sure fans have videos the next game and that content the next game. I mean, our marketing team, spirit programs, I was
going to say, how about the team that, if you guys have a basketball game in the arena and then you have graduations in the winter, 2 days, right? Those guys are out there
flipping everything.
Yeah, as soon as the game ends, right?
Putting it up, putting it down the floor. It's a lot of work, and that's our university events team. But it's just amazing how much work they do. But we get so much support from around campus. So that's where we're really lucky. We can do those things here, and we do them, and we do them really well. I mean, we throw events here better than anyone. Jennifer Girl is just amazing.
Yeah.
And we have something really special here at GCU, and so I think when people come to our games and they talk about how great the experience is, it's because there's a whole university supporting these sporting events that are truly university events.
Yeah. Okay, my next question for you, and we're talking a bit about this kind of before we started recording, but is balancing there's a side of college sports I think Lopes fans we've had to kind of take the conference realignment, money, power for dummies in college sports crash course the last few months, right? And then there's this side where there's so many incredible stories, and it's these young adults who are kind of finding their way, yet they still get to play their sport. And how do you kind of balance those two things? Because you have to, at the end of the day, you have to take care of that and provide the best possible opportunity. And then at the same time, there is that awesome kind of beautiful side to it where there's, player Y can, make the game-winning shot, and it's an incredible moment. And then you mix in the fans. So how do you kind of balance all of those things?
Yeah, where we are at and where we are going, we do. You're right. We have to be aggressive. We have to make sure, we win. We have to make sure we build revenue. We have to make sure we're always best positioned in the conference. There's so many things that we have to be aggressive about. And you balance that with why we started doing what we do in the first place, and you care about student athletes, and you want to see them develop and put out the future leaders of the world. But the way we've been able to really balance it is we've really stuck to who we are as a university. Our core values, our university is very student-centered, and we make sure that no matter what, our student athletes have a great experience. We make sure that they have the spiritual growth that we provide at GCU, all those things that support them growing as leaders. And we stick to our mission of serving the community. I mean, everything we do here at GCU, whether it's, our academic programming, our athletics is the same. Like, we are here to serve this community, both on campus, a place for our students and fans to gather, and also being out in the community. We know that we are visible. We're very much, I think you've heard the phrase, the front porch of the university. Yep. And we take that very seriously. It's a big responsibility. So we make sure we're out in the community and serving others. We stick to who we are as a university.
Is there a part of it? I don't want to say, I wouldn't want to say the word easy, because that would not be appropriate for you. But is there something that comes with being at GCU where they've been willing to kind of do things a little differently, and there's connection almost between the two? Because I know I've heard some athletic departments, there's two departments. It's, hey, I've got to talk with the university side, and then you've got the athletic side. Talk about the unique relationship there and how you feel like that really benefits you.
It's why we are at where we're at. It's why we won 76 championships in just a short period of time. It's why we've advanced in the NCAA tournament. Just with being eligible, I think postseason eligible for maybe 7 or 8 years only. It's because it takes entire university, entire community to win championships. But even when we first got here, I mean, part of the reason I was brought here was to help the university transition from Division II to Division I. That's not an athletics transition; it's a university transition. I mean, you're asking your financial aid folks, your people in academics, and everyone has to make another investment when you continue to grow the athletics department, and it does put it's a lot more for every area. But here, there's so much collaboration. There's so much a strong sense of community. Everyone wants to help one another, that it just makes it so. It's hard to say. It's not easy.
Yeah.
But it just. It's just such a great supportive environment. So it almost makes it like you want to do it for everyone else. You want to push the university and the athletics program ahead, because you've gotten so much buy-in, you get so much help that you want to be successful for everyone else.
Yeah, and you got to, I don't want to say set the pace, but you see the different groups on campus that are continuing to innovate. You've got things like, I feel like the student government, stuff like that, where they're continuing to push things forward and do things differently, where you as athletics, you also, if everyone's pushing forward, I don't want to say keep up, but it's your job also as almost an individual entity to continue to push forward as well.
It is. This university is so different because usually athletics is faster pace than everyone else, but here, just growing from what we've grown 900 students to 26,000 students in that period of time. I tell our department, that's like going to the Final Four in 10 years.
Yeah.
So we've got a few years left before we need to go to the Final Four.
Yeah, got to set the bar.
Yeah, we've got to keep up with the rest of campus.
You just talked about that D1 transition. So it's kind of a two-part question here. This is, I believe I have year 13 for GCU in Division I, and then I've got year 7 for you as AD if we include the interim period. When you look at both of those, I'm curious, what do you think maybe the university has learned in that time? Because I know it's maybe felt at times like drinking out of a fire hose. And then I'm curious for you in those 7 years as well. What have you learned when you kind of look back?
Yeah, I have probably learned more from being an athletic director at GCU than from being in athletics anywhere. And I've said this all the time. When I first got here, I thought my role was to help to show GCU how to become a Division I university, but really I've learned more from GCU what a Division I university should be. Just the collaboration, the student-centered, just the understanding of what athletics can do for a university, but also how much a university does for athletics. It's just a dynamic that is very unique to GCU. So just the level of collaboration and how everyone moves in the same direction, but with that same foundation of, again, student-centered, Christ-centered, mission-driven, serving others. It's just something I haven't seen before, and I don't know if it exists anywhere like it exists here. If there was one thing I think about GCU, it's we probably, we need to tell our story more aggressively.
Okay.
And I think GCU is such a humble place. We have a very humble university president, and our success has been so fast that I don't think the PR has caught up with it.
Yeah.
The knowledge of how great this place is and how successful we have been, both from an academic standpoint and from an athletic standpoint, has caught up with it.
Yeah, I mean, 13. I say 13 years, and that's really not that long ago when they were playing Division. They were in Division II. I mean, that's really crazy to think about when you look alongside. I know you have history with working at Duke. I mean, all these other universities who have hundreds almost of years of experience in Division I athletics, and you guys have been able to kind of learn on the fly. And then I'm curious, what do you think? I guess maybe missed opportunities, or what thing maybe even has you most excited? I've been thinking about that. We really want to lean into that, grow in that area. Maybe there's this opportunity now. You guys are Mountain West. Okay, this is taken care of. We can take one quick breath, and now we're gonna hit the ground running. What are those areas you really maybe want to improve on or capitalize on? Yeah,
it truly is. How do we supercharge telling our story? because the success has been so fast, and again, both university and athletic side. And now that we're in the Mountain West Conference, it's just a much bigger platform than we've ever had. It's much more exposure. It's TV opportunities that didn't exist for us. I mean, on a national scale, some insider stuff, hopefully some good news on a local scale as well. But it's just a lot of attention right now that gives us a platform to truly tell our story. The other thing is, our goal is always to win championships. And we truly, when we say we play for a higher purpose, we really mean that. And so with the competition that we're going to have, and the ability to have higher seating, ability to have at-larges, all those things, when you win championships and get to the NCAA tournament, you're able to bring so much attention and an even bigger platform to the university. So we need to supercharge that. We need to win fast, and we need to figure out, and this is a big initiative for this year, really how to continue to tell our story through many platforms so that people know what GCU is.
Yeah, and that stuff adds up, right? You're talking about kind of telling that story, and the more you win, yes, maybe you don't see the fruit the next day. Obviously, there's the excitement and there's the headlines and all that, but those are, I think from a fan's perspective, which is how I see a lot of things, those are moments that people are experiencing that's awesome, that, I think of my time in school getting to cheer on the team. Like, I can look back on it with my friends and we can joke and laugh about, but that stuff adds up and builds moments, and it eventually, right, that almost kind of exponentially starts to add up, and it really can explode. So I think, I guess on that topic, are there any things, not just men's basketball, but just any athletics in general, as you guys move to the Mountain West, anything that you're really excited that you can share from a infrastructure or fan experience standpoint, anything that maybe you're thinking about or you're excited to implement or maybe change or kind of upgrade?
Yeah, so from a structure standpoint, I don't think President Mueller has some things that are being worked on, so I don't know when those will be. Which feels
kind of evergreen, right?
Yeah.
There's always things being talked. We just talked about looking forward, so I think that we could always just assume that's happening, right?
Yeah, and then from our Havocs and our Spirit programs, just talked to Jesse, our director, and they're looking to really continue to enhance the in-game experience. I think what will be different this year, and this is what we need our fans and community support with. We are so used to going in there and watching the Havocs because they're so exciting. They have so much energy. They're so fun. But some of these teams that we're going to be playing, they're going to bring in a very passionate fan base. Mm-hmm. So the side that I'm on, I call our non-student side.
Yeah.
We're going to have to pick it up. And so that's going to be a bit of an initiative for our Spirit programs and our in-game entertainment, is how are we going to make sure that the other side of the in-game is really engaged, really excited, so that we are keeping the energy up. I mean, we need to be up there with the Havocs and make sure, because I was at the Mountain West tournament last year. I stopped by, and gosh, when you walk in there,
it's really good. I know, I was at the games.
Yeah,
it's pretty intoxicating, right? It's kind of like you can't speak. It's really good. I think that's a good point, because I want to talk about that. Obviously, we're still a few months away from that. Those men's basketball game days. Specifically, we could talk those Mountain West ones. Obviously, won't happen until around the turn of the year, but. How excited are you for that? Because there are going to be fans coming in. You talk about, obviously you want to watch the Havocs while the game's going on, but some of these teams are going to say, oh yeah, keep watching the Havocs, because we've got a top 60 team, and we're going to come in here and try to win and hope everyone has a bad night here in Phoenix. So how excited are you for all of those elements, the other fans to be coming and creating a great environment, the product, the talent that some of these teams are going to be bringing in? We're talking NBA guys potentially next year. Talk about the excitement for that day, because I romanticize about it a little bit, especially with college basketball. We're lucky here. It's 70 degrees, crisp night. I mean, that's about as good as it gets, right?
No, I'm really excited. I'm excited about our teams, both our men's and women's teams. Another level of recruiting, being in the Mountain West allowed us for both programs to bring in another level of recruiting. And so I know on the men's side, our team ranked top 35 from the transfer portal, but didn't even include some of our, some of our other players.
Freshmen.
Yeah. And on the women's side, I've been at Winston's practices. I see the size and the athleticism of the players that he's brought in, and they're just feisty and just really good athletes, but also when you watch him coach, he's such a great teacher, so smart, so incredibly smart. So we're going to see another level of basketball from GCU, and it's great because Mountain West brings another level of basketball, multiple at-large teams.
Yep.
I mean, it's a multi-bid league, and from the women's side, I think it's 10th or 11th that they're ranked in the country as far as strength. So it's going to be a lot of really, really strong competition. I think people are going to be really excited about what they're going to see on the court. It's going to be faster. It's going to be more athletic. It's going to be a whole nother level of basketball that our fans are going to be able to see. So put that together with another level of excitement and passionate fan base, I think the game day environment is just be incredible. So it's all good for our community and for GCU. I'm really excited for everyone to experience it.
Yeah, and there's two sides to it, right? Because yes, those fans can come here and they can be raucous, but GCU fans also get to go to some really cool venues.
Yes.
And these schools that have been around for, like we said, 100 years. I know there's been a lot of great cordial interaction. New Mexico, UNLV, those sorts of schools. They're not exactly going to kind of welcome you and cheer you as fans when you come into the building. They want you to have an awful day too, and then that gets to go back and forth and build. I don't know. So maybe talk about the excitement that comes. I think just with maybe some potential rivalries. I don't want to put this out there and get you caught right
No.
now, but I know you spent some time with some of the folks over at New Mexico.
Yeah.
So tell me about the excitement there.
Well, first off, they've been so welcoming. I mean, every single one of them, and on social media. I mean, what a great fan base. But I know when it comes down to it, they're competitive and they want to win. And so, just with our footprint, being such a great footprint in the Mountain West, I think there's a lot of opportunity for rivalries. And, close distance. I mean, even just
bigger cities, easier to travel to.
Yeah, and even fans just living in those areas. So we're excited. We want that feeling of the opponents' fans in our, and even opponents' student sections in our arena. We want to go get there as well. So but I love the idea and just how it is for the community of having that really, really strong rivalry. And I think people have said UNLV and Nevada and New Mexico, and there's just the footprint matches up. So we are really excited, and I think they are too.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about, you've spent some time, I've been to a practice, obviously was at the summer media availability. You spent some time around the men's team. Talk about just kind of the excitement from the staff as well as the players to, at some point they're only scrimmaging each other right now. We're inside almost 2 months away from that exhibition game.
Yeah.
Talk about just their excitement and what you've seen from them.
They seem really, really hyped. They're ready to go. I mean, their practices, it's high energy. I mean, just absolutely high energy. The other thing though, off the court though, I mean, their excitement too has been something that's been really, I'm really excited for, because they're going to connect with our students. They're going to connect with our community. So they're just excited, not just for the competition, they're ready to play, but I think they're excited for the students to be back and just for the entire environment. It's kind of what attracted them here too. Everyone knows about that. And so I think it's all of it. They're ready for Midnight Madness. They're ready for, just for this campus to be, as robust as it is. So it's all of it. But they've definitely been high energy in practice, and man, we've got some long arms.
I was going to say,
we've got some long arms.
It's very noticeable when you're off practice. The guys are bigger. I think the other thing that stands out watching the team is there's a lot of older guys that are, I think, almost have that 1 year left. They're older. I know a guy like Nana who had to sit out last year has that perspective. These guys they don't really seem like, hey, we're just going to walk through this drill. I mean, they were yelling, getting after it. And so I guess talk about that a little bit too, on just how important it is for you as an athletic director. You get so excited about the kids, I think, because I guess almost young adults, but you see some of these guys and the way they speak, and they're so excited for this. Talk about just how much that matters. I know Coach Mark talked about how much time they put into that side of it. A lot of schools maybe don't put that into. They look at just the film and what can they shoot from three. Talk about how, I guess, maybe the pride that comes with that when you see some of these guys.
I just seeing them, and I mean, my first practice when I met several of them, they all came up, shook my hand, introduced themselves. I mean, just really a great group of student athletes. And so to see them be excited, to see them, we give them so much support, to be grateful for that, just makes you really proud. I'm also proud of the way that Coach Drew has recruited.
Yeah.
He really recruited to the culture of GCU and to the culture of his program. So they're just great student athletes. I think they're great representatives of the university, and I think they'll be great. They have been great in this community. They've been doing some volunteer things out in the community. But it's great to see them just develop as young men. And Coach Drew and his staff are the right people to help them continue to develop and help them grow. And this is the right campus to help them continue to develop into great young men, and they are. They're really great young men.
Okay, a few more questions and we'll get you out of here. I think this is going to be an open-ended one, but I want to get your just initial response. I'm going to list off a few terms, things that might not have existed even when you took the job, and I want to just get your thoughts on. You've got things like house settlement, rev share, NIL, West Coast realignment. I mean, there's the list would keep going on of all these terms that didn't exist. Billable, there's so much talk about billable hours, all this stuff. So when you look in the rearview mirror at some of those terms, I guess what's maybe your initial thought and just kind of where college athletics is going? Not expecting you to solve it all or everything, but just kind of give your initial thoughts.
Yeah, I don't like the perception, and it really is a misperception of the NCAA and college athletics because, for the last few years, it's been kind of, there's been a perception that we don't care about our student athletes, that they don't get, that they're being taken advantage of. And the reality is you will hear the significant majority of student athletes at a significant majority of universities, they love their experience because we put so much into them.
Yeah.
Pre-house, pre any of that. Now, were we behind on kind of modernizing college athletics? Absolutely we were, and we should have stayed in front of those things. Now that we're in this whole, it's the rev share, it's all that, but with the transfer portal. The transfer portal is the other one that is just it's just completely
the one-time transfer portal, but then the two-time, but now it's just the full-time transfer portal.
It's changed everything, and it's changed so much, not even in just the past 5 years. I mean, every year it's so drastic, the change. And so, I'm really hoping that we'll have a little bit more, it'll calm itself down. I know there's right now a bipartisan federal legislation that's out that I think could be good for college athletics. But we've adapted, and we need to adapt. And ultimately, we adapt, but we stay true to who we are as a university and make sure that no matter what, with NIL and all those things, that we are still sticking to making sure we're serving the community, we are the hands and feet of Christ, and we're serving our university mission.
I'm going to get you out of here on this one, and you can answer with as many as you feel. I want to end with maybe it's an overlooked story, a story that Lopes fans might not have known of. Maybe it's a heartwarming or an incredible team or personal accomplishment that some of your athletes have had. Again, we talked about 20 programs. So share anything that comes to your head that you're just like, man, I want to share this story that was really awesome over the last year or two, whatever it might be.
Oh gosh, we have so many, and I'm proud of the fact that we do have so many, and they're always heartwarming. But again, this is when I keep saying we don't brag enough at GCU. But I received an email from a volleyball coach of a school, I think it's K through 12, but they're in a very socioeconomically challenging area. They've got kids that have really tough family situations, and our women's volleyball team had gone over and gave like a free clinic, connected with their student athletes. We have invited them over to our campus to watch games, and she just sent this note that was just it was just so touching about how much our program and our women's volleyball players have truly impacted their student athletes, kind of give them hope. We're role models for them, cared about them, and they've become huge supporters of GCU, but just the impact that our student athletes have had on them. I hear stories about that a lot. We just recently had one with another school involving our women's basketball team who was volunteering with some, again, socioeconomically challenged families as well as kids on the spectrum, autism spectrum. And he just wrote a story about just the patience, the kindness. He said there was a girl who has a really tough family situation. He said he hadn't seen her smile in so long.
Yeah.
And for the first time when our women's basketball players, they smiled. So those are the kind of stories we get a lot of feedback on, and we're really just so proud of our student athletes and how they represent, how much they serve.
Wow, that's great stuff. That's, there's so much, I think, especially this summer, if you're especially a GCU fan, there has been, we'll just call it stuff that's just gone on. And I think hearing some of that stuff is kind of sobering, right? A reminder of kind of how awesome college athletics is. And Jamie, thank you so much for your time. And again, can you just one more message to the fans, I think, on just kind of the level of excitement, not just from you, the department, the staff, everybody. I mean, this thing is about to officially get underway here in about a month. GCU joining the Mountain West Conference.
Just wanting everyone to know how hard we are working, from our coaches to our staff to our support services, to make sure we take it up another level. We want to make our community proud. We want everyone to be proud of being a Lopes fan. So that is our goal, and we are going full force making that happen for everyone.
Awesome. Well, thank you again.
Thank you.